I want you guys to imagine something for a moment. You have been tasked with planning your next high school class reunion. Maybe for some of you it's your 10-year reunion, others 20, maybe some of you even 30. But to make things worse, you find out that the last reunion had a horrible turnout. And if you do not have a drastically better turnout to this class reunion, all future reunions will be canceled. Tonight, I am going to teach you how you are guaranteed to have a very successful turnout to your class reunion. When I was getting my MBA, there was a book I read, and it was my favorite business book I've ever read. It's called The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Has anyone read it? Oh, almost everybody. The speech may not be quite as impactful. It's a great book, and that's why so many people have read it. And for those of you who haven't read it, and maybe a refresher for some of those you that have, what he attempts to figure out in his book is why some things become popular and some things don't. Why you can have two restaurants open on the same street with similar food and similar prices and similar quality, and one restaurant is wildly popular and the other withers away. Why do some boots become a huge trend while others go unnoticed? And he breaks it down and he identifies what he calls the 80-20 rule. And what that is that 80% of the people are kind of like sheep. They just follow the herd. And it's okay to be that. I'm part of the 80%. And I'm going to ask you a question. Have any of you ever gotten an Evite from one of your friends to an event, and you go and look who else is RSVP'd before you decide if you're going to go?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Well, if you've done that, there's a good chance you might also be part of the 80%. There's nothing wrong with that. But what he says in his book is if you can identify the 20% and you spend all your time focusing on getting them to buy your product or visit your restaurant or attend your party, then the other 80% will follow. So tonight I want to break down that 20% for you. I actually have a quick handout. Lisa's going to help me pass out. Maybe Jason can do the same. Now, I've taken the liberty, it's been many years since I've read the book, I've taken the liberty to summarize it in my own words. I've actually added a little bit. The book is close to 15 years old now, so times are changing with technology. The 20% is broken down into subcategories. The first one is called the connectors. And what the connectors are people who have lots and lots of social circles. Now, most of us have 2 or 3 social circles. You might have your professional circle at work with some friends, your personal. These people have 8 or 10. And they're important because they're really good at connecting people from different circles who wouldn't normally be friends. Okay? The second type of people are mavens. Now, we all know a maven. A maven is your friend who somehow knows something about everything. You know those people? And whether you're looking for a digital camera or a phone or maybe a restaurant recommendation, you're going to call your friend Joe because you know that he has an opinion on all of those things. And those people are important because their friends go to them they trust their opinion and they go to them for their knowledge. Okay? The third is the salesman. Now, the salesman is the person that wants to go to that new restaurant, but also wants all his friends to go as well. And these people are really good at persuading and convincing their friends to jump on whatever that latest trend or fad is. And then the last one, this is one that I personally added that wasn't in the book, but I feel like in our living here in Silicon Valley is important, and that's the early adopters. And these are the people sitting outside of the Apple stores at 4 in the morning. And, you know, a lot of us, like I said, I'm in that 80%. I want them to test out the new latest gadget, work out all the kinks before I want to buy it. And I feel like those people are also an important part of that 20%. So, in his book, he basically outlined those people who make up the 20% and said, if you can get them to get on board with you, whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, your product, the next hottest store, restaurant, or having a party, then the other 80% will come. So, let's take a step back. Let's go back to that class reunion that you guys are planning. So, now we're going to apply the theory I just gave you. So we're going to do things like this. You're going to go through your yearbook. You're going to scour Facebook, LinkedIn, talk to some of your close classmates, and identify who from your graduating class are now fit into that 20%. And although you're going to invite everyone from your class, you're going to go the extra mile with these 20%. You're going to do things like personally calling them and inviting them to the reunion. Maybe you'll invite them to be on your planning committee. Maybe you'll try to give them a little extra buy-in by calling and saying, hey, do you know what a good band you could recommend for our class reunion? What kind of food should we have there? You know, what should our theme be? You're going to do whatever it takes to try to get them to not just show up, but to commit and commit early. And then all the rest of your classmates will come. And if you do this, I promise you, you will have one of the best turnouts that your class has ever seen. Thank you.